All right, a very good evening to everybody out there. It's your Warrior Junior. It's kind of weird. It's like I like vanilla ice cream. So after ice cream it gets cold, so I put on my jacket, right? But I'm okay, not cold, so um, take the jacket off. Ugh, don't worry, it's not going to be a strip show. Much as you people like that kind of stuff, but it's okay. I shall return. Hold on. Let's pull my pants up here. I know you want that to come down too, but sorry, that doesn't work that way. There's not much to see, folks. Not much to see, and that's okay with that. So, yeah, there you go. Whoever it is, welcome. All right. So, the topic, the narrative is the farce of bodybuilding. Okay. I'm not just some guy, an uneducated person that just looks at these giant, giant people, like pumped full of steroids and growth hormone and whatever, and it's no, it's funny because I was watching some video on YouTube and it shows these, Jesus, these guys. I mean, the women, don't even get me started with that, but it's like these guys are like walking behemoths. I mean, it's like it's just funny because you know it just like no, if you want to see the ultimate clowns, I mean, I can go better. I can do better than these clowns that are the professional bodybuilders. But there's these people in Brazil. They just shoot like the synthol, which is like a oil-based thing, and they shoot it right into the muscle. And the muscle, what happens is it blows up. Not like explodes, but it can. But it blows up like ridiculously huge. So I mean, whatever you think you've seen, the biggest people, there's like cartoon character looking people in Brazil. I've seen it. It's like I'm talking whatever you think you've seen. This is the epitome of ridiculousness. I mean, I'm talking about like just it's scary to look at, But I watched because I was curious, like literally, it's like a guy. I mean, I can't even describe what he looks like, but it's just ridiculous. The oil, like it. Can you imagine like a bicep like this, almost like this big? That's what it is. I'm telling you, there's guys out. I've seen this video. It's like ridiculous, like 35-inch biceps, and stuff like that. Not even Hulk Hogan was even like that. But okay, so this is the issues with this. Um, what happened was like about 20 years ago. See, I go back to my bodybuilding. Well, actually, when I started in the late 80s, getting into the gyms and stuff and working out. Um, but I don't even know where to begin with this. Um, I remember like in the early 90s, and there was like the emergence of, I mean, Lee Haney was going out, and Dorian Yates was coming in. Ronnie Coleman was, he was working his way up to top NPC. Um, but the thing is, like, I guess the Dorian Yates was like was the beginning of like I mean, there were mass monsters back then, but that guy went on a tear, like for 7, 8 years, winning every Olympia. And the thing is that these guys, it became, I think what it was the advent of growth hormone, along with shooting testosterone and other various steroids, anabolics, and stuff like that. So when these guys started to combine their cycles and stuff of that I mentioned, uh, you got this kind of blown up kind of look. It just it was just you know it's kind of ridiculous if you think about it. Because I'm watching these videos and it shows these guys working hard. They don't show you pushing the what they're pushing the pins. Their look is very blown up kind of thing. And when I say blown up, it just doesn't have. You don't see these type of natural type, lines. Um, of bodybuilders. Now, Arnold had that. You know, Arnold didn't have that type of like blown up kind of, a little bit of that, but nothing like these ridiculous clowns today. Um, it's just it's completely ridiculous. I mean, man, you want to talk about an incredible bodybuilder? Let's talk about Frank Zane. From I think it was 77 through 79. Guy won 3 Olympias, in a row. Guy's like whatever, 5'9", 200 pounds. And you think like, what's that? That's only 200 pounds. Let me tell you something, dude. And I've talked about this before, you know. And also, Zane competed in 1980 Olympia, which Arnold came out of retirement to win. But let me tell you something. Like, Zane was no joke, okay? And he was very upset he didn't win the 81. It would have been a four-peat. Very upset. But he could hold his own against Arnold. He didn't beat him, but he could hold his own against him. So that's saying really something. I mean, think about this. If you're like, 200 pounds and you're that solid, I mean, that ain't good enough. I mean, I'm sorry, I know this is not 1977 anymore. It's not 78, 79, but let me tell you something. You know, to me, that's good enough. That's, I see these clowns, these people, it's like ridiculous. It's like, and this one guy goes, after one bodybuilder, he goes, oh, I want, to show people what a man's supposed to look like. And he's walking, like, on the beach or something. And I saw like people, they go in, with some people going like this, like my God, it's like a gorilla, it's a freak or something like that. And no offense, but kind of it looks ridiculous. And I know why. I know exactly why. Because see, all the other dudes are that big. So like you have to be, because it's like if you're on stage with all these other guys that are gigantic, and you're not going to be on stage with that. It's they say it's a freak show, and it's just it's a shame. It's a shame it turned into that, because to me, like, bodybuilding always struggled with like the respect, factors, and what the human body, of course, not an Olympic event for a reason. This is all drugs, right? They don't show you that though. Like, I think some Branch Warren, he got pissed off. He said something. He goes, "Oh, if you take anybody who does take steroids, they won't look like me." And I go, "Hey, I'm not discounting the work ethic that goes in. I mean, I'm not discounting that, but that gear, number one, allows you to be able to push those kind of weights and push that hard. Okay, so you take all that shit away, and I mean, dude, I mean, no offense, but I got training logs. I got thousands upon thousands of hours. Okay, I've done everything except take that shit. Okay, everything. I'm talking about serious discipline, eating, sleeping, training, like maniacally, like everything. And I made some damn good gains for me. What I would consider, pretty good gains, but nothing compared to like these gigantic, no, no. My eating every couple hours, sleeping, the training, and the alternate, everything incorporating, hitting muscles all different ways, and intensity, working my ass off. Um, you know, but even like when I was close to 200, that was at my peak a couple times. I did hit about 200. I wasn't able to like pull off that type of Zane, symmetry, separation, and kind of that cut that because he was taking two. He was taking a lot also. So it's like I'm not trying to tell you you can't look like nothing without steroids, anything like that. you can build one hell of a natural body through real strict discipline, but you will never have a drug physique. You might be actually you could if you build yourself to your maximum genetic capability, which I felt like a couple times I was at, people would ask you, just come up and say, what kind of gear are you on? Like you could steroid life kind of thing, but not even. You know what? You have to use that term very loosely because a lot of people they just don't know. They see somebody really in very good shape, and they're just automatically they're thinking steroid. That goes in their mind because they're just uneducated, or they just don't want to know any better, or they're jealous, or they're stupid. I mean, there's a million different reasons, why people think the way they do. Um, I'm pretty good. I've been around a long time, so I could pretty much look at somebody, and if they're on, so I could tell um, pretty much what they're doing or what they're not doing. Um, you know, it's like I grew up a huge wrestling fan. Like I worshipped these guys, and when I was a kid, and I got to meet a lot of these dudes over the years, and it's just whatever. I'm not gonna name names. I'm not going to you know discount the fact of something. I've been to bodybuilding shows too. I met a lot of these people, and it's just it's quite amazing. Like you gotta understand that it's not like it was even back in the late '70s. I mean, they say even Frank Zane wouldn't even be an IFBB pro today. Wouldn't even make it. It's a guy that won 3 Olympias at the time. That's because the what it is. It's like this blown up kind of look that it's nonsense. It's just it says I'm watching this dude squat. This guy's like this giant behemoth, and his girlfriend or whatever is like behind him, holding him as he's squatting. And the girl has like these hard lines, like looks like kind of like a man. And I'm just sitting there going, this is like just ridiculous. I mean, I'm it's like it's just nonsense. It's a circus. It's a stupid. Uh, I mean, excuse me. There were dudes that were big. Sergio Oliva. I mean, that only dude that beat Arnold actually. I think Franco was in '76 and came back and then won in '81 again. Had the pleasure of talking with Franco in his office maybe about a year or two before he passed away. Really nice guy. I'm not, signed a book, gave it to me, and you would never know if you looked at him. He's kind of a hunched over, kind of guy. I don't know if he just broke his back. I think carrying that refrigerator, and that never there's nothing to do about it. But besides, you looked at him and you said you would never know. You would never know. The guy was Mr. Olympia, 1976, '81, and it just all goes away. Um, you stop taking. You stop taking. I don't care if you still work out. I've got fucking thousands upon thousands of workouts, thousands, and it doesn't matter. Um, Even I was just taking a lot of protein, protein powder, a lot, creatine, recovery, the stuff, size on, whatever. And I had kidney stone surgery, and after that, I was like, fuck all this shit, powder. My weight basically, at 200 down to like 150. You know, a little under 200. Weight can fluctuate, a lot. Um, very hard for me to get big, to hold any type of density because of just my bone structure. I'm very thin, my wrists and stuff. Um, what I would consider anyway was Endomorph Exomorph, you know, the you know, just I was very, very small. I think I didn't hit 100 pounds literally till I just started high school. I mean, I was small little guy. I remember like 11th grade, I think I was 111. Um, but I started to get active. So, you know, even at that weight, I didn't look anemically thin, but it was very, you know, it was still thin. I don't think, you know, I hit like 100. When I graduated high school, I was about 125. And I remember like when I started, you know, went back to community college a couple of years later, I was about 135. I think I hit about that. You know, I remember it took me a while. Eventually, to the, you know, started getting into bodybuilding. I remember I hit like 150. You know, as a, you know, throughout my 20s, late 20s. Um, and then when I started taking all the protein powders and stuff like that, I was able to learn. You know, I was able to crack 175 for the first time. I remember like that. That was like, and if you're talking somebody small and thin, you know, 175 is not bad, you know. And then when I got close to 200, I was like, fuck, you know, that was, you know, I was there a couple times about that close to it anyway. Then I just stopped it. I was like, yeah, this is just so much eating, you know, the whole, yeah, like Philly, I listen to Philly talking, you know, I watch these guys eating every second, the whole life, and I'm saying, I'm not even a competitor. I'm not, you know, I don't know what dreams I had. I don't know. I wanted to be a baseball player, wrestler, I do all these things, and nothing really ever happened. I never really made anything. So, um, kind of like, you know, after the kidney stone surgery, I kind of got back in it, then I stopped. So, you know, weight goes down, it all goes away. Knowledge, you know, and then the muscle memory is really interesting. You know, if you, you know, and that's the thing is, I guess I could talk about. I felt like you know, now that I'm doing like martial arts and I was kicking the bag, I was like, dude, let me do some hard leg workouts, build up some power, muscle in my legs. You know, I was doing like squats today, and I felt like, yeah, wow, good. You know, it feels like legs are getting stronger, grow. You know, it's going to take work though, but you know, I have the knowledge, so I was like, hey, you know what? Why not fucking do it? But I kind of, you know, I kind of like when I'm watching these guys, you know, these giant fucking, and I'm saying, dude, I mean, yeah, it's all drugs though. It is. I mean, I don't care what, you know, they can put poo, they can say, oh, it's all the hard work and the food and the dedication. Hey, man, you know, I didn't say it's not, but those hard. I mean, look, man, I got over like 30 years in the gym. You ain't getting to be like that without taking some serious gear. Period. The story is you can't argue with me on this because there is no argument. It's the pharmacology. I mean, it's just there's no way. There's absolutely no way. You can try to eat till you're blue in the face. Your whole life could be about working out, eat, sleep, train like a monk. You will never ever get close to anything of ridiculousness like a Dorian Yates or Ronnie Coleman. There's no way. It's all the gear that they use or anybody. You'll never be like a professional. I mean, you know, even some of these guys, these natural bodybuilders, I know they're taking growth hormone because it doesn't show up in the drug test. So, you know, they're cheating too, and it sucks because you know, natural bodybuilding. I mean, I did go to some natural bodybuilding shows before, and you could just see what you know if the guys are real natural. Some of them, you know, um, they just there's no, you know, it's like, you know, if you look at Eugene Sandow, it's natural. You know, they didn't have, it was taking anabolics back in late 1800s, early 1900s, turn of the century. Um, so you see what's possible naturally. Um, and even, you know, it was tough back then. They didn't have protein powder, you know, like, you know, stuff, you know, it was like they had to eat like, you know, beef, whatever was there, you know, like, you know, whole chickens and stuff like that. So what happened was the science got better. Science got better, but you know, it's just kind of like ridiculous. I mean, you look at like Steve Reeves, I guess, or you know, I mean, lots of like dudes that are like Mr. USA in the 40s and stuff like that. I was like, really, just wow, it's kind of incredible. Look at it. But they were taking, man. They were taking German scientists, invented, stuff, and the guys started taking that shit, and it started to blow up. I don't know. I wondered if Vince Gironda, like some pictures of him where he was, you know, really just like a huge V taper and everything like that. I'm almost positive he was taking too. Like that shit came out. These guys were just like, hey, and of course, dude, Arnold, taking that shit over there. You could get it. I talked to a dude that came over, a young, aspiring guy that wanted to be like Arnold. He came from Austria, as a security guard, pretty well built. He was big as he goes over there. Yeah, you get it's easy to get, And so I was like, all right, I mean, not. I mean, I don't know. Like, I've always kind of found it like fascinating, stuff, but I think I just, my dad died of heart related condition when he was really young. And I just am paranoid about, taking this shit because, it doesn't guarantee you anything. And then plus, I don't want to be like, I don't want to get that super huge anyway. So for me, like 200, it's good enough. It's good enough. So, you know, and I don't need to be on stage because you got to be basically like a walking anatomy chart, um, with thickness, and the only way to get that is I think women, they all take Anavar, um, they take anabolics too. So you know it's like who you trying to let's really think about this. Who are you trying to show? I watched this thing with Kai Green and the girl that he met in a posing class. And she goes, "Oh, I want to be." The woman's like working out with Kai Green. She goes, "I want to be the best." She goes like that. I said, I'm looking at her genetic structure, and I said, best compared to who? You think she's gonna be Miss Olympia or something like that? You know, it's all subjective. You have to say it's all subjective. Who's to say he looks better than him and he looks better than who's to fucking say? I remember seeing Joe Weider in his wheelchair a couple of years before he died, and he's looking at Jay Cutler and he's like just lighting up. He goes, "Look at this Jay Cutler guy! Wow, he's getting like Joe Weider's getting aroused or something, And he basically is telling me like that's gonna be my new Mr. Olympia, and that's what it was. Coleman came in that one year. He was really off, and that's the only reason Jay Cutler won it. Coleman was on his way out anyway. They're winning so many. You can't, you can only hold whatever, like, there's always, and that shit catches up to you, I mean, Flex Wheeler has his leg amputated. God, Flex Wheeler was like Mr. All runner up when Coleman first won. And then you saw Coleman can't, I don't know if he can even walk without having crutches as an aid or something to assist him. And so, they might look, the unbelievable, yeah, but it's short lived. And I remember, like, my injuries or whatever are so minuscule, like blown out meniscus, worn out, whatever. I was telling the doctor, I said, I'm just happy if I can walk. I don't need to be able to fucking squat 500 pounds or anything. I don't care. Who are you going to show who gives a shit? You think everybody gives a fuck about you? Yeah, you go to the gym a lot. You think that all these people are analyzing you? They're going to, what the fuck have they ever done for me? They never offered me nothing, ever put me in any movies or nothing. Nothing. I'm paranoid in my gym because I push pretty hard. There's a lot of homosexuals in there with their cameras. and I'm paranoid that they're recording me or whatever. And if I look at the angle of their phone. If I see it faced toward me like this, like go and approach them, and I said, "Hey, dude, you recording me?" You know, so I watch their positioning of their phone. You know, if they're like down, it's down like this, I don't worry about it. But if I see something like this, and it sucks because I like to go and just focus on what I'm there to do. But you're not allowed to record in a private establishment. You know, and I'm sorry. You know, I'm not trying to belittle homosexuals or stuff like that. But you know, when you do a squat, you know, it's like you stick your ass out, and it's like I guess I don't know, they get turned on. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gay. I don't know what they're thinking. I guess they want to see you in compromising positions. I don't know, and I don't care. Um, you know, it's like when I see a hot chick or something like that. Yeah, I might look, glance, you know, but again, I am there to do my job. You know, like, and my job is to get as much as I can off that place. And the only way that's going to happen is through serious focus and dedication, not through, you know, walking with a phone, you know, recording and being on it. I don't do that. I don't bring my phone to the gym. I bring nothing to the gym except a bottle of water, my workout gloves, and, you know, I'll munch on a tribulus tab on the tablet or whatever on the way up there, you know. I'm not there to fuck around though. And those people are, you know, they're there to fuck around. And what happens is because I'm the only one working really hard, I stick out, you know, like a sore thumb there. And I don't give a shit because you know what? It's their time. They can waste their time. Maybe I never. Well, I don't know. You know, I don't know why I push myself so hard. It's just the way that I'm wired. I'm wired to try to become something. I don't know what that means. I just like to push myself. I like to get something off of, you know, doing things. I talked about that in the last episode, you know, until I can figure out something better to do, I guess, you know. But otherwise, you know, like what else can I fucking do? I don't know what else to do. So might as well invest in yourself, you know. Yes, I don't know. But you know, the problem is, you know, that they look at this bodybuilding, this nonsense, you know, these walking behemoths. This doesn't it sets a bad example for trying to like build a body. It really is. You know, Bill Phillips when he came out with EAS in the late '90s. I know I talked about this video. It was called Body of Work, but he really did a great thing by really showing that it's not about bodybuilding. Should not be about like these posing trunks and you know giant behemoths and oil and you know standing on stage and competing. That's not what it is. That's what Joe Weider created. Okay, he tried to create this spectacle of everything, but real bodybuilding is about changing your body, sculpting, and you know not this blown up nonsense taking powerful growth hormone, you know, or steroids, testosterone, all that crap. I mean, it's about building your best body and not comparing it to anybody else, which is done in the contest. Compare to yourself. Everybody's trying to like compete with everybody about that shit. My gym, they're always, you know, I call my gym a superficial. It's not a hardcore facility. It's a superficial nothing. All these mirrors around, these gay guys are looking at themselves while they're working out, checking their abs and stuff like that. And I just, I'm like, you know, I'm glad I don't think the way you guys do. I'm glad I'm not like you guys. So superficial, you know. Nonsense. You know, they're all there just to. I guess they're all on the phone. They're all talking to each other. They're just there to pass time. It's like a. I don't know what they're doing. I don't care. I just don't know them. You know, maybe some of the dudes are taking. They're on some heavy anabolics. I've seen some dudes that are, but that ain't from working hard, man. It's from taking chemicals, man. I've been accused of that by a couple people, but they're idiots. I don't even talk to some of those people anymore. Anyway, well, it's to each their own. To each their own. I mean, I don't know where this huge, this big thing came out of. I don't know. You know, why can't just think like you could build one hell of a body without being huge? Like it's look at Bruce Lee, 130 something pounds. Jesus. His ass off too. But when you're young, it's like guys who want to be big. You start to say to yourself, "What the fuck?" Who cares? John Cena told me personally, big ain't nothing. He told me that. He told me 300. He's like, I was 300 pounds ripped. It don't fucking matter. There you go. But even him at 240 is Jesus. I think Arnold was about that on stage, 6'1", 240 at the 237, and he had his peak. So John Cena is now, today. It's huge. It's fucking gigantic. Anyway, I don't, I have years and years and years of training logs. And it took me, I remember, like, I had to work pretty damn hard just to get to 175, let alone like 195. Jesus. That was it. That's as far as my body would give me naturally. And that's fine. No, I did admit I did experiment with SARMs, different types of SARMs and stuff. Over if I can get them over the counter, that's after months and months and months of just like 185, 188. You can't go any further. That's it. Your body just will not give you. It just doesn't. And I kind of got my limits. Like of how far I'm willing to go. And I think that's a good thing. You can push. There's nothing wrong with pushing yourself, but not when it comes to like. I mean, there's some older people. I get it. Like I don't know everything about growth hormone. They said it can really help for older people. See what these bodybuilders are taking is fucking insane. Yeah, they have to. They gotta be taking huge amounts of shit. They're just not showing you. They're not telling you the whole story. Anyway, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And Warrior Junior will keep plugging away from you. No success with the women so far yet. So, but we will discuss that in the next episode, next topic. A little tired. All right.